We've all seen the stories how regular people become millionaires. On this channel, $1,000,000 Made Easy, we love to run numbers for people and like to show people that it doesn't take as much as you might think if you have the time. And that's what these stories often say. You need to be in it for the long run. The get rich quick schemes do not work in the majority of cases, the vast majority. But if you can just be in it for the long term, uh, month in and month out, year in and year out, look at these kind of numbers. Let's take somebody that can contribute $300 a month, and they're going to increase that by 3% a year. Where might they be in 30, 35, 40, 45 years? We're going to look at the data for the S&P 500. We're going to use the returns for the last 100 years. None of these returns will be identical, but this just gives you some kind of idea of what the range might be going forward using the S&P 500. I want you to notice, for example, in the 35-year column. Again, folks, this is just $300 a month, increasing that by 3% a year. In other words, $300 a month, 309, 318. You can see them going down through there. And these are the returns for each of those years. For example, 1924, if the returns were like 1924 going down through here, you'd have, after 35 years, you'd have 2.133 million. After 40 years, you'd have 3.478. And there's the numbers right there. You see them? And this for every single year, whatever year you pick, it already shows what that would be. And in this column going down there, you see 2 million, 2 million, 1 million. The lowest you're going to see is right here, 1,116,000. That's putting in 217,000. The median of this column is 1.669. We like to take into account inflation. At a 3% inflation rate, that's 1.669 with a buying power of almost 600,000. You got to realize the inflation can really affect your end result. But this is just $300 a month. Let's go with a little bit higher. Let's go with $400 a month. Let's stay with $300 a month and say you've already been able to save a little bit. Say you've been able to save 10,000. I just want to show you how quickly the numbers can change. So 10,000, and we're going to leave everything else the same. Right now, the median for the 35 year is 1.669. Notice how it changes here as we 1.669 right here in the 35-year column. What does it go to? Over 2 million at $10,000. You've already been able to save $10,000. You got 35 years till retirement. Median in this column, $2 million. If you happen to have 40 years, you get started young and get that 10,000 kind of quickly, look at what you can have. Even in the worst case scenario, you have 2.297 million. The median in this column for the 40 year would be 3.614. If you get started really young at age 20 and you can put away this kind of money, well, let's go back to zero here. Go ahead and update this. I didn't look at the 45-year column before, but look at this. $300 a month, increase that by 3% a year. And the worst case scenario in a 45-year scenario, you'd have 3 million, and you'd have almost 5 million for the median. That's what we like to show people. Regular people can become millionaires if they're just consistent and they get started young, even if it's just lower amounts. Let's try one other. Let's just say $150 a month, and say you just increase that by 2% a year. Just starting out, you're just getting out of college, maybe 20, 22 years old. 45-year column, you put in 129,000, and look at the worst case scenario, 1.354, the median, 2.229 million. Yes, regular people can become millionaires if they just know this information. Please tell your friends about this channel. We will run numbers. I just ask you to give me your beginning balance, whether you want to inflate it each year and how much you want to contribute each year, and we'll run the numbers, and you'll get some kind of a range. Whether it's the 35-year column, 513 up to 1.699 or whatever. We just simply use the data that has historically happened and look what it might do given the same scenario going forward. Our channel is $1,000,000 Made Easy. Please consider subscribing. Please share this with your friends. Let them know there's a channel like this that exists. They'll run numbers for them just to give them a rough idea. It's just a tool, but it can really encourage you when you see the kind of numbers you can have just contributing $150 a month over the long term. Again, please share this with everybody you know, and thanks for watching.